What is up, all of you awesome and amazing people on YouTube? The Old Coot here, coming at you with a quick how to make 5 eggs and an omelet in a stainless steel pan. If you followed the video prior to this one, I showed everybody the restaurant secrets or tips of how restaurants turn their stainless steel pans into these wok-esque or wok-like cooking utensils. So the short recap of that is heat up your pan, right? After you've washed it, you cleaned it, whatever. What you do is you put some avocado oil, rub it in there, bring it up to like medium heat-ish, like medium-ish heat, and then basically wait for wisps of small little smoke to form, and then basically shut it off, let it sit. Wash the pan, very important, with just water. So no soap, just water. And then basically repeat that process over and over and over again. Then what you do is, let's say you only did it once or twice, it's totally fine. What you do then is you heat up your pan again, right, after you've washed it with just water, and you put a decent amount of I like to use avocado oil in there, and then you fry up some either bacon fat, just the fat, not the protein. It's very important to only fry up the fat, or beef fat. You can use ribeye fat, which is what I used in my case, but fry up some fat at medium heat, right? Medium to low heat. Then basically take everything out, let it cool down, come back to room temperature, pour off the excess fat and the oil and whatever. Wipe it out, wash it, very important, wash it. And then come back, and so now we're at this point right now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fry up a quick egg, or a quick 5 eggs. And what I'm gonna do is, my pan's been heating up for about 3 minutes. 3 minutes on medium to low heat, right? Somewhere in the middle. I kind of go between my two marks here, but kind of somewhere in the middle. This has been heating up for about 3 minutes. So this is pretty much ready to go. So the next tip or trick is avocado oil, right? Make sure you get a good quality one. This one happens to be from Costco, which the price lowered, by the way, recently. It used to be $18 or $19 a liter. Now it's like $16 or $15 a liter. But anyways, you're going to need a decent amount. That's one side effect of doing, eggs in a stainless steel pan like this, is you're going to need about 2 tablespoons full. I'd say about that much. And yes, it's a lot of oil, but you know what? If you want non-stickiness, that's part of the process of doing this. So then the other thing to keep in mind is me having this on the biggest burner I have also helps. And also that medium to low heat, keeping the pan on the medium to low heat basically helps with the Leidenfrost effect. You saw me do a quick short video on, you wait for your pan to heat up, drop some water in there. If the water forms little balls and the balls dance around the pan, that's how you know you're at the perfect heat, the Leidenfrost effect. So you can go back in my video playlist and check that out. So now what I want to do is I just want to swirl this around, just make sure I'm coating the sides as well, very important, so that way you don't get any stickage like in the corners or edges of your omelet or whatever it is you want to make. Another tip or trick is always try to take your eggs out like a decent amount of time, maybe a half an hour to an hour before you're ready to cook them, just so that they can try to come up to room temperature. We're talking 65 to like, whatever it is, 65 to 72 degrees or 65 to 75 degrees. So I'm just going to give them like a quick little mix right here. No salt, no pepper. That's another trick, is if you put salt in there, the salt might cause your eggs to stick in the beginning initially. What I'll do is I will salt them. I'll just salt them like halfway through the process. And then I've got some cheese here, which I'm going to add after the fact. Maybe like in the last, maybe 10 seconds of cooking this, egg scramble omelet that I'm going to be making. So anyways, basically I've got what I need here. My pan now, this has been heating up for another minute with the oil inside. Another little tip or trick to keeping everything non-stickish. But basically, you're going to keep getting this beautiful color, this beautiful browning color, the more and more and more you do this. But the number one thing is, when you do this, just make sure you've cooked at least 1 round of bacon fat, just the fat or the lard, or some kind of beef fat in there, and basically deep fried or fried the bacon fat so that can coat the pan. And that's what gives you more of that beautiful browning color, which will eventually turn black and blacken this pan. So anyways, we're ready to go. This is as hot as it can possibly get. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go low to the pan. I'm just going to start pouring, and just pour gently and easily. Something like that. And it probably will sound like a cauldron of fire and flame and all that good stuff, which is totally fine. But anyways, okay, here we go. Let me clean this off. So basically what I want to do now is now I can start moving this around. Ideally, you want to use some kind of like silicone tipped or lined or wooden type of a spatula. But all I want to do is just move this and see how non-sticky it is. Basically, everything moves, everything swirls, everything swishes. You can do your tornado thing if you want. You know, if you want to be fancy schmancy or whatever, do whatever you want. But you, as you can see here, you've got this beautiful non-stick surface in the stainless steel pan like this. And all I'm doing here is I'm just trying to aerate and fluff, right? I'm just trying to get some fluffs and some folds. For whatever reason, if you did get stickage, right? If your eggs didn't come out exactly the way they should have and you're starting to get stickage, what you can do is lower your heat a little bit, which is probably what I'll do here. So I'm going to lower my heat to this. Remember, medium to low heat is where you want to be. And basically, I just want to give it a nice little toss, make sure I know that it's moving around. Now I can go ahead and flip. So let's see if I can get this on camera. Oy! Okay, there we go. There's my flip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the heat entirely and then throw my cheese in there. So now I can put some cheese. There's a little more cheese, right? Heat's completely off, right? Very important. And then now what I can do is now I can go ahead and sometimes I can do this with one hand. Let's see if I can do this as flip to try to get that nice looking omelet in the middle. Something like that. That's basically what you want. So now it's time to plate. I actually do reuse the same plate because I figured the carryover cooking will carry over and cook the eggs that are in there. And I like my eggs kind of runny or wet anyways, so there you go. But there's that. As you can see, the cheese is even non-sticky in that pan. Let me see if that last little piece will come out there. Slow moving. Slow moving. But as you can see, even the cheese was non-sticky. So now, one of the most crucial essential things is to wipe the pan before it has a chance to cool down if you can. You try to use some kind of a lint-free cloth, right, as opposed to using paper towels, at least for the first, let's say like 20 times that you use the pan. Try to use a cloth that is lint-free or as lint-free as possible, because if you try to use a paper towel right now, what's going to happen is the particles in the paper towel may stick to the pan. You're going to have to repeat this process all over again and ruin your results. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do some cleanup work. That's the video. Basically, you get the idea of how to make and keep your stainless steel pan on stick. When I go ahead and wipe this out with the towel, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cool down to room temperature. Very, very important. Let it cool back down to about 65 degrees Fahrenheit or so. And then I'm going to wash it with just water. So only water in the sink and only the soft side of the sponge, not the hard side. Soft side of the sponge and water. That's enough to clean it. Then what I'll do is I'll bring my pan back on the heat. Turn on the gas for maybe like a minute or so at medium heat just to dry it out completely, and then just put it aside once it's dried out completely and let it cool back down to room temperature, and it's ready to use for the next day. So that's basically it. Anyways, if you do like what you're seeing, like button down there below, give me a big like, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can check out the description section for some links to some cool kitchen products and some other stuff. And I will catch you all after I grab that piece of cheese on the next exciting video.